Hi, welcome to Buff Chef. Recently I met a person that came up with a pretty good idea. She said, why don't you go ahead and do a show for kids? And I thought about that because let's face it, in the news these days, we think about our kids and the obesity problem that they face, and I'm very happy to say that I read recently that the government is going to step up and take care of the school lunch programs from now on, make sure that they're a lot more nutritious, which of course is a wonderful thing. Absolutely, it's about time in fact. So I got to thinking, and I'm going to go ahead and make a meal for children that they're going to eat. It's pretty neat and it's very, very nutritious for them. Some of the research that I did was on the quote-unquote fast food kids meals. And this is one of those things where we tend to trade nutrition for convenience, okay? Well, those particular kids meals, and I'm not going to single any restaurant out, I don't want to get sued, but the truth is they're about 650 to 900 calories a piece. They have 50 to 75 grams of fat, some of them, 75 grams of carbohydrates. We don't need all that, okay? What I'm going to do is make some star sandwiches, okay? Now, what I have here is I have some cookie cutters, and I bought these at my local members only store, okay? They're just stars. They come in different sizes. There was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 different sizes in the set, about $3, okay? I have some ground turkey, which I tend to use the regular ground turkey and not the white meat. The white's a little bit, I think, sticky. Okay, I also have several slices of, this is low-fat provolone cheese. Of course, use whatever you like, but watch your fat content on these and make sure that you're using real cheese. Now let's talk about bread. Well, the bread that I grew up with was gritty and sandy and nasty, and you could pretty much refinish antiques with it, okay? So I'm going to stay away from that. I did a little bit of shopping, and I found a white bread that's actually a multi-grain, okay? And it's not too hateful when it comes to calories as well. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Now, to our meat, we're going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of garlic. Very good for the body, okay? It also adds a lot of flavor. I've got a pretty good pinch of salt here. I have about a teaspoonful of dill. And I've got a mix here. This is for our carrots. We have about a cup of carrots here. Okay, we're going to boil those. This is actually Splenda and cinnamon. So we're going to go ahead and get cracking here, and we're going to make something wonderful that the kids are going to love, you're going to love, everybody's happy. Okay, in a medium mixing bowl, I've added my meat. I've broken it up a little bit. I've already added my dill to that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sprinkle in my salt. Just kind of sprinkle it over the top, best you can, just like that. Oops. Not cooperating. One moment. There we go. Okay. Same thing with your garlic. You just want to go ahead and just kind of sprinkle it on there, just like that. Again, not cooperating. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take a wooden spoon, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blend all of that together with my meat. Make sure my spices and my meat combine. Turkey is really, really easy to work with, so it's very soft. Much more so, I think, than ground beef. It's certainly much better for you. A lot lower fat content, you know, the same or better protein, you name it. Just make sure, you want to make sure that you really mix it up well. A little bit more and we'll be all set. Okay, I'm happy. All right, there we go. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our star patterns. Now, we're going to use the larger one for our meat. I'm going to go ahead and cut our cheese out, and it looks something like this when finished, okay? So I'm going to take the smaller one, the next size down, let's say. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And, you know, I tell you, a lot of these have an edge on them, so you want to be very, very careful of that. Don't cut yourself, but to have a little bit of an edge is good because it also cuts better. Now, you can go ahead and use a book or something if you like. I'm just going to use the palm of my hand to cut. Here we go, just like that. I'm going to take out my cheese out of the mold. I'm just going to put that in one of the cups for now. We're going to save that, though. That's still good cheese, and we can do other things with it. Just like so, okay? Let me go ahead and cut out a few more. Just like that. Very quick, very easy. This doesn't take much at all, and it's also very, very cheap. I mean, it's amazing what you can cook at home for the money, and it's really, I think, less expensive in many cases than eating out. Certainly, it's a lot more nutritious. Just take your smaller star, lay it on the bread like that, try to position it to where it completely fits. If it doesn't, that's okay. And just go ahead and press down. Again, using a book or something hard is probably a good idea for this, but I'm not doing that. So what we come up with is, voila, check it out. Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a top bun and bottom bun for each one of my sandwiches. Uh-oh. There we go. Take him out like that. Very good. There's really no need to throw this bread away. There's several other things that we can do with that, and we'll cover that at some point. Almost there. Oops. Yeah, you really have to get a good even cut on these things. I'm kind of rushing through this because we only have so much time, but you get the idea. Just like that. Excellent. Your kids are going to love this. In fact, you know, I was thinking, and this would be something that would even be great for the big game. Imagine one of these guys, you know, with an olive in it, that kind of thing, very healthy. Just like that. Last but not least, here we go. Fantastic, here we go. Now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our meat, and I'm gonna put it out on our cutting board here, much of it as I can. Okay, try to get it in like a nice ball sort of thing, as even as you can. It does not have to be perfect, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to take our rolling pin, okay? And we're going to roll our meat out. We're going to make this fairly thin because they're going to cook a lot faster if we make them thin. And you want these less than ½ an inch thick. I would probably start off with 1/4 inch, something like that, because they're going to fry really quick. We're going to throw these guys in the skillet, so. Okay, just like this. Rolled out nice and even. Outstanding, just look at that. That's healthy protein right there now. Nearly fat-free, nearly. Okay, now we're going to take our larger cookie cutter and we are going to cut out our first star. Turkey's usually pretty easy to work with because it's so pliable, but in this case, a little bit of a pain. No problem. Here we go. Just like this, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and make several of these off camera, and we're going to go ahead and go to the cooker. I've had my carrots boiling in about 2/3 of a cup of water for about 5 minutes or so at this point. I'm going to go ahead and add my Splenda, and this is actually 2 tablespoons of Splenda and about a teaspoon, probably around a teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix that in there with them. What this is going to do is make them sweet, so the kids are going to like them, but it's not going to add any calories. It's just going to add flavor, and you got to love that. I'm going to go ahead and put my meat on the stars. I'm just going to do 2 of them at this point. They look something like this right here. Now, if you're not using a nonstick pan, of course, make sure that you hit your pan with a little bit of pan before you actually begin to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and toss those on. Here we go. Oh, that's smelling good already. Outstanding. I'm going to let these cook just a few minutes, and I'll be right back. After adding my Splenda and my cinnamon to my carrots, I've cooked them about another 5 minutes, 10 minutes total. They are finished. Okay, let's have a look at our stars. Look at those guys. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. Just like so. Flip them right over, look at that. Just like so, flip them right over. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cook these for about a minute or so more on that side, and then I'm going to go ahead and add our cheese. This is going to be fantastic. Your kids are going to love this. And again, this is even something that you can serve for the big game, whatever, hors d'oeuvres, you name it. Tons of potential here. Okay, actually that's probably about right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my cheese now. And remember, these are the cheese stars that we cut with our cookie cutter. And the nice thing about cookie cutters is, I went online, you can find cookie cutters in any shape you can possibly imagine. It's absolutely amazing, it really is. I never really considered that before, but when I got to looking into that, it was just really amazing. Okay, I'm just gonna flatten them out just a little bit because they're kind of starting to puff up a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just lay my cheese right on top of my stars, just like that. I almost match them up just about perfect, okay? And I'm gonna reduce my heat some. I'm cooking these on about medium-high heat, something like that. You don't wanna cook them to death, you don't wanna cook too fast, but just like every other meat out there, they will tend to shrink a little bit when you cook them, so just kind of bear that in mind when you're cutting your shapes and your sizes and that sort of a thing. Okay, I'm going to let this cook just a few more minutes. Actually, probably just about a minute, maybe less. Let's go ahead and get our buns ready, our star buns. Are these cute or what? Look at that. Is that awesome? Fantastic. Look at those. Oh yeah. I love these. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and remove my stars from the heat, like so. Look at those guys. Oh yeah, fabulous. Smells wonderful. Your kids are just going to love these. And just go ahead and take your stars out of the pan. Watch your cheese. Kind of let some of the, there's not much grease, not much fat with turkey. That's one of the benefits of using it versus ground beef. But there is a little bit, so just kind of let it drain. There we go. And I am just going to, as neatly as possible, slide that on to my little bun, just like that. And let's do this one more time. Just kind of slide it onto your bun. Be very, very careful because it is hot, of course. Okay, we're laid out. And there you have, for all intents and purposes, a cheeseburger, only we used very, very fat-free, very low fat and very healthy turkey. Okay, we also put some garlic in there, everything that you really need for a meal. Let's go ahead and add our sweetened boiled carrots that we boiled for about 10 minutes to this meal. Just like that. Here we go. That's about a serving. Your kids are going to love that as well because they may balk at it because it's a vegetable at first. Get them to taste it. It's very, very sweet, yet still very low in calorie. Now, of course, here's our finished product. We've got a perfect meal, very low in fat, very high in protein, very low in calories. We've got our vitamins, and let's go ahead and give it a taste. My favorite part. Fantastic. Feel good about cooking this way for your family. This entire meal was about $3, okay? Actually, this was about $2, to be perfectly honest. It's healthy, it's good for them, they're gonna love it. And remember, always remember, that healthy children turn out to be healthy adults. Thanks for stopping by.